I've never had a bye week that came at the wrong time. That was Kirby Smart. To reporters, he was telling us that after the game in Nashville, and it was quite a situation post game at for Georgia with Vanderbilt and with all the construction around there. I think people are talking about that a lot. I've tried not to talk about it a lot. I mean, it's just part of what happens when you're trying to move forward your facilities. You're going to have construction. Um, we were in a very small trailer. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it for post game with Kirby Smart, and it was better than where we were at Auburn. I'll tell you that it was less difficult than with at Auburn. But um, you know, I think this is actually a really good time that for Georgia, and that's often the case because you're heading into Florida. So you're going to get a week off before Florida, and uh, look, this season it we may be more than halfway through it, but it's been a long year already, and I know I feel that way often just because of the travel and the grind of the season. And for the players, I think that snatching a day here or there where you're not doing football is probably a really good thing right this second. I know that they are in the moment all the time up there, and that's fine. But um, there are really good times for off weeks, and Georgia's hit them not just because of the injuries. I mean, you have to think about it. You have the ability in this 2 week stretch not only for Brock Bowers to have a surgery on his ankle, then you also have the ability to possibly get Xavier Truss back, Roderick Robinson, Andrew Paul. You get to rest Kendall Milton. You get to rest Lad McConkey or load manage them. All of these things are happening at once at Georgia, and it's really important for them to hit the ground running in Jacksonville. That game it's all on the line in that game as usual. So, you win that game, you are probably in as good a position, if not better, than everybody else in the East. We don't know what Missouri is going to be like when they get to Athens. They've still got to play South Carolina, and I think they may be off, and then they play Georgia. So they certainly could lose to South Carolina, who has been abnormally up and down this year, more down than up. But they can beat Missouri, and you know we've already seen Georgia get pushed to the limit, if you want to call it that. Maybe not the limit, might not be the best way to put it. We've seen Georgia get pushed by Auburn for sure. A game on the road that they don't play a lot of those games, just because of their fan base in Nashville, their fan base in Atlanta. Two of their road games are going to be home games. So, Georgia's not like a lot of schools in that, you have to go play on the road. Well, when they did, um, against Auburn, which was clearly a road game, they stepped up to the plate and got it done. The guy that was primarily responsible for getting it done, Brock Bowers, he's not going to be out there these next few weeks. So, what difference does that make? When you think about um, the situation traveling to Tennessee. So Georgia's got some work to do in terms of preparing for these next little bits. And, if Brock Bowers is not going to be out there against Florida, how do you change things, or how do you modify things so that you're still scoring on offense the way that, you want to, continuing to score at a top 10 level. Your defense, can they continue to get better? Um, beyond this team really has. I don't know if there's more injuries, but it feels like we're talking about them more beyond the Christian Miller. I'm not sure if I know anybody on the defensive side of the ball that really needs to get right. But at the beginning of the year, that was the case. I mean, what's going to happen when this team is completely and thoroughly at full strength? We might not see that this season. We didn't see it last year. I mean, we saw it uh, for the Oregon game, I guess. because Jalen Carter from that point forward was either playing limited or not playing at all from the Missouri game until the Tennessee game. And of course, during the Florida game is when Nolan Smith got hurt. So, and was gone for the year. So, you know, I think, injuries aside, you want to assess everything. Who has not played this season that really could give you some help on second team defense or spelling someone on special teams? Is there a person out there that you really want to get going? Is there someone who there's all sorts of stuff that goes into these off weeks. And then I also think too, it lets you reset. There's only 5 games left in this season, plus the probable SEC championship and a certain bowl game. And so what has to be done? What's left to be done that has not yet been done? Who all, what's going to happen when Georgia actually has to punt in some of these games? That's not been the case lately. I mean, Thorson has not punted a lot at all. We've seen Woodring get out there and make corrections and become a very good kicker, to be honest with you. What's this offensive line going to look like when you start getting people back? What's Xavier Truss's prognosis moving forward? I'm recording this before we talk to Kirby, so I don't know, but we'll hear more about Xavier Truss. How about Freeling and what's the newcomers on the offensive line? How is that going? What is the future here? I mean, you've got a lot of guys who have played a lot of downs, meaningful downs for Georgia on the offensive line. But I think you would like to have Truss and Mims back as starters. And once you can do that, then you're in really good shape. But all this happens in the off week, And of course, this week there will be a lot of traveling for the this week, this Friday. There will be a lot of traveling for the assistant coaches. There's a lot of work that goes on that people don't see clearly, and that's in almost every job, but particularly in this one. Georgia has got a very good class, and I don't think they want to lose it. I mean, you're talking about the #1 class in the country right now, and this week is a great time to knock that out. Make sure you're taking advantage of this off week by checking out our friends at EcoPoly. These are those rocking Adirondack chairs. You can get them in a slew of different colors. You also see the side table there. You're going to get 15% off any order when you put our code in down below, and you're going to get you're going to get free shipping, y'all. Let's just keep in mind that is made in the heart of Georgia. This is completely recycled material manufactured in Eastman down there in Dodge County. It's an awesome company. They showed us the entire process. I was sitting in something outside the other day in Nashville, and it was not as good. It's just not as sturdy, and you can tell. So get yourself this product or these products, any product, you can get 15% off and get this free shipping from our friends at EcoPoly. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Christmas is right around the corner. I know for me, the off week gives us the ability to catch our breath, do some things we've not yet done for the season. What do we need to do to get ready for the SEC championship and beyond if Georgia plays in it? And how does this team get right before what is clearly a very critical stretch? I mean, Michigan's got a tough end of the season. Ohio State this week is playing Penn State. Those 3 teams, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, they will all only start playing each other now. The SEC has been into, legitimate games, and Ohio State's played Notre Dame. I mean, they've played a legit game. We can't say that about Michigan and Penn State necessarily, but, everybody else in college football seems to have played a ranked team. Georgia, Florida State, obviously going to Clemson, Texas and Oklahoma both, USC, Notre Dame. A lot of teams have already been hit with a struggling game or a ranked foe or whatever. We've not seen that as much in the Big Ten, partly because the Big Ten's not very good. And there's not a lot of ranked teams. But I will be curious to see what that's like. But this is the traditional spot for uh, the off week at Georgia. And I would say that this is coming at a great time. Not, Kirby's quote one more time was, "I've never had a bye week that came at the wrong time." Personally, I used to enjoy when we had two bye weeks in the season. I know that's long gone now, but that was a lot even better. You could really just like you could break the season into segments, and we have seen that at Georgia. You've had the preseason, then the beginning of the year, so these first 7 games, and then now, everything after that. And there will even be during these games, Florida is a different experience than, a home game against Missouri or a road game against Tennessee. They may all mean the same in terms of wins and losses, but I can assure you the cocktail party is a whole different thing, just the same way the SEC championship is a whole different thing. You got to be prepared for all of these things as you get ready for the close of the season. Thanks for watching.